All right, welcome back. Time to bring in our panel right now. With us this week, we have former state party chair for the Indiana Democrats, Robin Winston, former vice chair for the Indiana Trump campaign, Tony Samuel, and two former state lawmakers, Democrat Terry Austin and Republican Mike Murphy. And we'll start with the two of you because this is now a really daunting task in front of state lawmakers these next 2 weeks with a $2 billion revenue shortfall. Mike, what are you hearing? How do you see this playing out?
Well, first of all, it's not unprecedented. We had the Frank O'Bannon $2 billion deficit that Mitch Daniels came in and immediately fixed. O'Bannon actually delayed school payments. Tell me if I'm wrong, Robin. I think it was by $150 million or so. And Mitch came in and wrote a check to all the schools and started the resurrection. It's going to be tough over the next 2 years. I mean, they relied on the federal funds. The federal funds are gone. But I do have a solution. I think we need to add a cabinet member, and we need to call him the Secretary of Sin and bring back Rod Radcliffe, put him in charge of gambling, marijuana. He'd create hundreds, he'd get rid of the deficit in less than 2 years.
Well, the sin tax is one thing being mentioned, right? Cigarette taxes, sure. Potentially alcohol taxes.
Sin is always profitable.
There you go. Terry, what do lawmakers on your side of the aisle want to see here in these very crucial discussions these next 2 weeks?
Well, I think what they want to see, and they recognize this is a significant shortfall. One, they're asking whatever happened to the $6 billion surplus that we had just a couple of short years ago. But also, they want to try to find, I mean, they're talking about cutting services to some of the most vulnerable Hoosiers. And I can tell you that Democrats are saying maybe this is not a time to move forward with some of the aggressive moves that the administration is talking about, given the fact that Hoosier families are also going to see less income.
Tony, while Governor Braun blamed Bidenomics in his statement, the state's economic forecasters cited a lot of the uncertainty over President Trump's tariffs as a reason why the revenue forecast is so unclear right now. How does the administration, do you think, defend against this notion that these tariffs are causing uncertainty and problems like this for states like Indiana?
You mean the Trump administration?
The Trump administration.
Well, we haven't seen this working yet, and I think it will. Remember, and we've talked about it before, Trump's plan is to renegotiate these trade deals with other countries that have been taking advantage of us, ripping us off, and those trade deals will come to fruition here.
But is it leading to more of this uncertainty now in the meantime?
Sure, because you can't prove that they're going to work. You have to have faith in this plan, which I do, and most Americans, I think, do. Once there's a trade deal with Japan, and then the EU, and then Vietnam, and maybe China, this is going to skyrocket. The stock market will, consumer confidence will. It will change everything, but right now that hasn't happened. Okay. So the forecast is bleak, but it could change in 6 months to a year, and we could see. Hopefully, the legislature won't be raising taxes. It also politically wouldn't be a good thing to do in Braun's first year, and they'll make the cuts they need to make.
Robin, what's your response to all that, and how do we get out of this mess?
They never blamed Donald Trump. Look, we have a $6.1 billion trade deal with China alone from this state. We rank third in the country with trade with China. Agriculture and manufacturing are getting pounded by these tariffs. Stellantis laid off 900 people. You're beginning to see this impact back at the kitchen table here in Indiana. These guys have been in charge now for 20-some years of running state government, and we got a $2 billion surplus. There's an old song, Dan, that says, "You're going to miss me when I'm gone." You can blame Bidenomics, but Biden was the one to give you a $6 billion surplus because of federal support.
Mike, in the meantime, a lot of local communities are now also worried about their budgets after the passage and signing of Senate Bill 1, the governor's property tax cut, which seems to have some people on both sides disappointed.
Well, I think that's right. I mean, I think the governor did a great job of power politics, of getting his #1 agenda item through, and which showed some significant ability there. But what's happened is that the legislature has forced the tough decisions down to the local people, the county councils, the cities, the mayors. And so they're going to have to raise taxes to make the legislature look good And what people forget is it's the county government, it's the city government who produce the volunteers for these legislators to get reelected. You're going to see a lot of primaries next year.
Terry, we also saw all the teachers that were there at the State House this past week. This is certainly something that has educators concerned about their budgets too.
Oh, they are, because quite honestly, unless a school chooses to go after another referendum, which they're changing the rules on again about when you can do it, and now you have to share the money with charter schools, so they're going to get even less. Schools are taking a real hit. I mean, several $1 billion.
Yeah. Tony, what do you make of Micah Beckwith's comments last weekend? He said the governor should veto this bill in his view. Then he didn't really want to talk about it later this week after the governor signed it. Were you surprised by that? Did he go too far?
It was probably a misstep. And I think they've worked it out internally. Really, what should have happened, if he was going to call for anything, he should have called on the Senate to dissent and then take it to conference committee and work on it more, because you had, at that point, you had 2 weeks before the end of session instead of calling for a veto. Plus, you don't want to do that without consulting the governor. You never want to get out in front, especially on something that's going to make the governor look bad.
Robin, as we saw earlier, the lieutenant governor didn't want to comment on the tax bill while he was attending that event with RFK, where he also had some tense moments facing questions from reporters about the politics of vaccinations and some of RFK's views on the subject, with RFK also facing some scrutiny for his remarks this week.
What's wrong with giving kids vaccinations? What's wrong with trying to prevent a child from getting measles? Why do we even have to politicize this? You know, all of us went and got our shots when we were younger. Why not you go ahead and do what you should do to make this an issue way past all the usual political rhetoric? As far as the lieutenant governor, sell your car, reduce the amount of money. You want to cut the budget? Here's 95,000 ways you can cut the budget by reducing that car cost of a luxury SUV in front of the Capitol.
All right, a lot to talk about this week, no doubt. The panel will be back in just a few minutes. Coming up next, the trucks of the future hit the highway here in Indiana, how it works and how transportation officials are addressing safety concerns. That's next.